it's a good thing that we ended with the game that we ended with tonight. I will say that.
You think?
The
first half of the first game, I needed a lot of caffeine. A lot.
Final score, Kansas 77, Michigan State 69. In this game, the two teams started a combined 6 for 31 from the floor, and Hunter Dickinson made, I think, 5 of the 6. I'm going to give you the floor first because you have a lot of thoughts about this game. And one of the thoughts is that you saw – wake up.
That's right.
You saw some similarities, actually, in the two teams in terms of some of their issues. What did you notice?
I think the lack of shooting that these teams dealt with last year are still here now.
I agree.
I think, Michigan State –
I disagree.
I do.
Really?
I think it's too early to evaluate that with Kansas.
I'll say this. Michigan State, you're 12. We talked about today. When you first, we talked about it, and you even mentioned, you said, the arena is a little bit different. Yeah. And they were 4 for 24 today?
Michigan State, in this game tonight, listen to this. They were 3 for 24 from 3 on the season. Wait, they're 12 for 60.
Remember last year?
12 of 60.
Wasn't this them last year too?
Yes.
Weren't they worse?
They started.
Wasn't it worse?
Yeah, it was like 2 for 30.
So this is 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. And part of the problem, guys, you don't really have a low post presence.
No.
And you don't have Tyson Walker and coming back on.
There's a lot you don't have. There's a lot you don't have.
At least you had him as a moment that could get hot, take over a game, and he could close. So if you don't have a post guy, I like their guards, but they still don't have that guy to give the ball to give them a bucket.
They want Veers. They want to be that guy.
Wow.
And we talked about it with Kansas as well.
Veers can pass. Like he can set up people
good. He's going to be good. He's a good player. I think he's talented.
Does he have enough weapons around him?
Jaden Aiken shot 1 for 8 tonight.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy he's the veteran.
I worry about
their
how
roster. Their roster. If I just told you Tom Izzo is not coaching this team, and I told you that Michigan State roster, would you even rank him in the top 50?
Probably not.
No.
It's a very, very unimposing.
I don't think either one
roster.
of these teams are built to run away from anybody. You're going to get that type of style and that type of game playing with.
Oh, wait a minute then. Okay, so then Rob, hold on.
I think Kansas has it in them.
Is Kansas the best team in the country?
I don't know, man.
Is their best team in the country?
I don't feel comfortable saying that anybody is the best team.
He's going to say Auburn.
I think Auburn has been the most impressive in terms of what we've seen.
Sure.
When I put together a top 25, I still had Alabama and Kansas as 1 and 2.
Would you, after watching Kansas now, would you keep them at number 1? Or now would you say, you know what,
probably
Auburn's deserved it. Auburn does deserve it.
Here's what I will say about Kansas is that they got a lot of threes out of their offense that I think were shots that they wanted. Like, I think it was very obvious tonight. Their game plan was like, we got a 7'2", fifth-year senior that's been a 4-time All-American. Like, let's get the ball to him when he's being guarded.
Well, it's going to be that every game.
No, I know.
But they saw who was guarding him too.
And then I think,
out of the gates.
Like, I think that Rylan Griffin got shots that he could make, and Zeke Mayo got shots. I think a lot of the threes they got were threes that Bill Self wanted to take. Now, my question is, did they just have a night where they missed them because they're shooting with that weird Spalding ball that nobody really likes, and they're playing in their first game, and like AJ Storr is still kind of finding his footing, and Zeke Mayo just had an off night? Or is this an issue where I mentioned it on Saturday night? I don't know if you were there, Randolph. You don't have to guard DeJuan Harris. You don't have to guard KJ Adams.
Nope.
You don't have to go out and guard Hunter. Hunter's going to take 1 or 2, 3, 1 or 2
So,
games.
like, when you're running things through him in the post, you're already in a situation where you basically have only 2 shooters on the floor because you want to run things through Hunter in the post, and you already only have 2 shooters, and like those guys aren't making shots. So I don't want to say something where I think it's similar to last year. It was clear that Kansas was a team that could win some games, but wasn't going to make a run in March.
Who are the other 2 shooters, though?
Mayo and Griffin.
It's Mayo.
Mayo.
It's Griffin.
Mayo
It's
They
Storr.
need one of them to make shots.
They do.
And if both of them do, they can run away from people.
It's Mayo. It's Griffin. It's Storr.
Mayo likes to play
Storr
with the ball a lot more. It's not Storr because Storr's more of a driver.
Because Mayo was a point guard last year.
And that's
in
my
South Dakota
point.
State.
And he's playing.
He's got to learn.
He's got to give him time to play off the. And that's an adjustment for him.
He's a shooter. He shoots 40% from 3. He'll be fine. Griffin is a little bit up and down. He made a couple tonight, a couple big ones. But I think they're both capable.
I
High
also-
30s. I think.
No, I
they'll
think
be fine.
they'll finish the year that way.